Okay, I hope everyone's doing well today. I hope you guys had a great weekend uh, celebrating Memorial Day. Um, I hope you got filled up with hamburgers, hot dogs, ribs, and all the good things that go along with a holiday like this. But I hope you had time to remember the individuals and families that sacrificed their lives for us so we can live our dreams. Um, it's a great honor to celebrate the loss of lives that they gave it all for us. So I'm very, very appreciative of obviously what they did, and I hope you guys took a moment of time to thank them also. But we had a great weekend, great weather. Friday had a little bit of a rough start to it with all the rain that we had, but we're back and running here on a Tuesday holiday. We're going to talk about the real estate market up and down the I-275. First of all, I want to thank you for joining me. We'll discuss, as I said, real estate news and information on the I-275 and the 23 corridors. I'm Bruce Webb with the Bruce Webb team of realtors, and my office is here in Plymouth, and we service the Southeast Michigan area here. So again, I hope you had a great holiday weekend, and so let's get to it. The two communities that we're going to talk about today are Sumter Township and Garden City. Those are obviously close by to us, near and dear to our hearts. And believe it or not, we celebrate a lot of different things. We celebrate Cupcake Day, a lot of different daily celebrations that our government's put in place. And believe it or not, we are at the start of celebrating Home Ownership Month. So June, today, starts and kicks off that. So we're going to talk about a few things why we should celebrate. And then another thing that we're going to talk about is how misunderstanding about affordability could cost you a lot down the road. So that's our topics for today. I hope you enjoy it. If you have any comments down below, please put them in, type them in. If there's other communities that you would like to hear about, also type those in. We'll try to get to those, or I'll get back in touch with you personally, or we can talk about them next week. Here at 11:45, every Tuesday we talk about what's going on in the real estate market. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Sumter Township is the first community that we're going to talk about, and it's a little bit different than the other ones. Again, we're getting our information from RealComp, which is through our multiple listing sources that real estate agents have. And what they're informing us that we have 1.3 months worth of inventory out there for Sumter Township. I would say most communities are below 0.5% or like 15, 16 days. So there's a little bit more out there for Sumter Township. Now, in the area also, days on the market. Last year we had 17 days on the market, and this year we're down to 4 days. So we've dropped about 60 or 76% on days on the market, and that's not unusual for all the other areas also. Again, as we mentioned before, if the house sits on the market more than a weekend, it's probably overpriced, and we'll talk about that too later on in the show here today. Now, one of the things that we look at too is year to date, and sales for last year, 2020, they were averaging $220,000, and this year they've gone up to $245,000 in Sumter Township. So those are things that we are also considering. Now, celebrating the month of June, 6 reasons why celebrating a National Homeownership Month. Our homes are a lot more than just the house that we live in. They're, with the pandemic and other things that have happened in the last year, they become our workplace. They become our schools for our children. It's a safe harbor for us. And people are using our homes different than what we've had in the past. Now, the National Ownership Month kicks off today, as I said. Homeowners have every reason to celebrate. There was a survey by Gallup that ranks real estate as the best investment. And this goes back to the last 8 years that they've ranked us. And this compares to, however, unlike other investments, we benefit in a lot of other ways from home ownership. Okay, and some of the non-financial benefits that we have from owning our own home is civic participation is one of them. Okay, we find that owning a home, we get more involved in our community. We get more involved in our neighborhoods. We take the pride of ownership. We find that we get committed to volunteer work and other ways in the community. And as I said, pride of ownership, we can make that home our own. We can bring out our own character, our personality, okay, and our own values when we own the property, where we can't sometimes when we're renting. And it's a safe place. As I said, home has become a place where we can be secure and private. Are two things that would come about it, and especially after this last year or year and a half or plus. It has become a place where we can hover down a little bit and be safe. But there's also financial benefits. Okay, it's forced savings. Owning a home builds equity. Okay, your equity grows with every payment that you make on your mortgage. Okay, this form of forced savings can be used down the road to help you accomplish your biggest financial goals that you have. Appreciation. Owning a home is making an investment in steady gains value, and experts project home values are going to increase as the years come. It's also stability. Owning a home means having a better control over your future housing payments. If you have a 30-year fixed mortgage, there's only two things that can change on that, and that's taxes and insurance. You're going to have the same payment for the next 30 years, and where if you're in a rental situation, they're going to escalate as the years go through. They're going to go up as the cost of living goes up. So those are three things financially that you're going to have control of if you own your own home. And those are 6 overall ideas that are a reason to celebrate in this marketplace that we're having right now. The other community is Garden City that we wanted to talk about, and it's more like the rest of up down 275 corridor. They're down to 5%, 0.5 months worth of inventory, which is like 15, 16 days. Last year it was down to 1.3. So you can see that it's just like most of the other communities that are less than a month's worth of inventory out there. Again, they've gone from 24 days on the market down to 14, and the average sale price has gone from 130 up to 158, almost 156, or 160, I'm sorry. Again, a 21% increase on the average sale in Garden City. Now, the main topic that we sort of want to talk about is how misunderstanding about affordability could cost you down the road. Okay, now there are a lot of things to consider or discuss about affordability as home prices continue to appreciate rapidly, even though the most recent index on affordability from the National Association of Realtors shows homes are more affordable today than they have been in the past. Some still have concerns about whether or not it is truly affordable to buy a home right now. I can understand the question on that a little bit. The prices are just going up, 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 and people feel like it's when's it going to come back down? When's it going to, they keep talking about the bubble, like what happened back in 2006, 2008. And as we explained in the past too, we don't have the same situation that we did back in 2006 and 2008. We don't have that bubble situation. People have equity in their homes. Okay, now there was when addressing this topic, there was various measures of affordability to consider. However, a few of the index compared the affordability of owning your home to renting one. Now, in a paper just published by the Urban Institute, Home Ownership is Affordable Housing, the author of that was Mike Lofton, examines whether it's more affordable to buy or to rent. Here are some of the highlights of that report. Renters pay a higher percentage of their income toward rental payment than homeowners do. Okay, the report explains when we look at the median price of expense ratio to all the households, the typical homeowner household spends 16% of its income on housing, while the typical renter household spends 26%. This is true, you may say, because people who own their own homes must make more money than people who rent. But if we control the income, it still is more affordable to own a home than to rent a house on the average. And what they did is they took the average income and they broke it down. So incomes under $20,000, the renters were paying 48% of their income to their housing. Well, if they owned a home, they were only paying 38%. Then they took a average of homeowners that were $50,000 or less, and the renters were paying 34% of their income towards renting the property or their housing. And if they owned their home, it was 24%. And then if all other ones, all incomes above that, the renters were paying 26%, where the homeowners were paying 16%. In each one of those cases, it was a 10% difference on how much they were spending towards their housing. Okay, renters do not have the extra money to invest in other assets. Okay, this is what the report is saying from it. Buying a home is not a decision between investing in real estate versus investing in stocks, as financial advisors often claim. Instead, a home buying investment simply converts some portion of the existing expense, renting, into an investment in real estate. It explains that you still have a housing expense, a rent payment. Even if you don't buy a home, you can't live on your 401k, but you can transfer housing expense to your real estate investment. The mortgage payment is forced savings. It goes towards building equity in equity you will likely get back when you sell your home. There's no return on your rent. Okay, your mortgage payment remains relatively the same, which we just talked about here. Your difference on that is over a 30-year period. If you have a fixed mortgage, that's going to stay the same. The only two things that are going to increase are your taxes and your insurance on the property. But the majority of your payment is going to remain the same, your principal and interest. So that's going to be the same. Consequently, over time, the homeowner and renters produce starkly different economic outcomes. Home ownership, major affordability benefits is that it is stabilizing. That is likely that the homeowner's biggest monthly payment. And again, it just goes back into being more stable and more control on your biggest investment that you have going on. Okay, the mortgage payment remains the same over the 30-year period. So what they did is they showed us a graph and how renters have increased over a 30-year period. And let me see if I can flip it around here and show you. This is 30 years ago. This is today. You can see how the actual rent has gone up quite a bit, especially in the last 10 years. So the renters are paying a lot more today than what someone has started out 30 years ago paying on their home mortgage. So it just shows you that just the cost, the benefit of owning your own home is beneficial. If you want to own your own home and can't afford it, don't wait. Don't wait right now, because it could cost you. As the report I mentioned, we need to stop seeing housing as a reward for financial success and instead see it as a critical tool that can facilitate financial success. Affordable home ownership is not a capstone of economic well-being. It is the cornerstone of your financial stability. Home ownership is the first rung of the ladder for financial success for most households, as their income is most often their largest, as their home is most often their largest asset. So it's important to realize that owning your home is a base where you can control the rest of your financing. So those are coming out of the reports, and we should look at those as a beginning in getting your financial situation under control. So with that, there's a couple of situations that came up this last week that I wanted to tell you about also. I've taken out about 3 different buyers this last week, and we came across properties that really showed up pretty nice on the MLS. But when we got there, the homeowner either didn't maintain the property or didn't control the updates, and they priced the properties at the top end of the market right now. Yeah, someone's probably going to come along and buy it, but they didn't get the bidding wars that they needed to, or that what they could get in today's market. I went out and showed a house out in Farmington Hills that was priced at about $330,000, and had a updated roof, updated windows, and a furnace. But the kitchen, the bath, the living room, all the cosmetic things were right out of the 60s, and they were asking top dollar for it. My buyers just balked and walked away from it, and rightfully so. Had another buyer this last weekend that went out, and we were looking at a property downriver, a condo, and again, they were asking top price for it, but this condo needed carpeting, a kitchen update, a bathroom update, flooring throughout, had an older furnace, older hot water tank. And again, if you're a seller, you still need to maintain the property and ask a reasonable price to get the bidding wars that we're having on today. Now, another situation I had where we took out a couple, and we're waiting to hear back on an answer on that today, that we put an offer on. Very well maintained property, very well priced. It was right where it should have been, right at the market value of the price. They're getting multiple offers on the property. We went well over asking price, and I'm sure that the seller in this situation was going to profit very nicely off of their home. So getting the property in condition to sell and pricing it right, and making sure that you have a real estate agent that understands what's going on in the market and can help you throughout the process are the 3 important things that you need to understand. So I hope you, again, understand these concepts. If you have any questions, please contact us. In the meantime, I still go back, and I hope you had a great holiday weekend. I hope that, again, you remembered those who served for us, both men and women, and thank them and their families for well, obviously you can't thank them, but think about them and pray for them, and make sure that they know that we are thinking of them. So until next time, have a great Michigan Day, and let's talk soon. Bye now.